We're trying to abide by the law.
Do we want these lights on?
Sure, you wanna put one on so they can see the audio?
Yeah, because they're taking record.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. Meeting, I guess from my right to left, we have in attendance,
Selectmen's representative Mark Duffy.
Josh Fuller.
Rick Wareham.
Alan Blue. Robert Doherty. Great.
You guys been there for a forum too, right?
We do, and now we have
nice.
Slasher here too.
Sorry I'm late.
No worries at all. Just announce yourself, just sit down.
Sasha Cook.
Sasha Cook is in attendance. And Alan Flood is sitting for Mary Suarez. All right, we'll get this meeting started. So, financials, some applications here. And we have some correspondence. Oops. I'm just pulling up the agenda electronically so I don't have to have it. So everybody knows.
Here you go.
Alright, did anybody, I don't believe the minutes went out for 6/9 yet. To everybody to review. So I'd make a motion to table the 6/9 minutes till the next meeting. And seconded, all in favor? Aye. And we have a secretary position that's been approved, and the next step is for them to come down and fill the paperwork if they're still interested. If not, we just repost.
Yeah.
All right, some correspondence. We have alleged violator.
This is for tax map 109, lot number 3. I won't mention the names. The New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services Subsurface System Bureau has received a complaint of possible violations on the property. The complaint alleges that you, your agent, or others under control of your guidance have connected a structure to an existing individual sewage disposal system without a permit or proper authorization from NHDES. This letter is to notify you of the complaint and to provide you with the opportunity to respond. You find no record of permits being issued under your name or the work being described above. I realize there may be a permit that may be obtained under another name. The work may be exempt from the below regulations, or the information provided by NHDES may be unfounded. If the work has been performed without a permit under or proper authorization, you are requested to voluntarily refrain from carrying out any additional work except for the installation of siltation and erosion controls until the NHDES further investigates the matter. And this is pursuant to RSA 485-8-A:32.
What is this again?
Tax map 109, lot number 3. They need to respond within 20 days.
It's been forwarded on to Code as well. And we have another one here. Want to read that one? Oh. It says, Dear Town of Wakefield, thank you for the generous donation of $10,000 on 6/5/2025 to Moose Mountain Regional Greenways. Your support helps us protect and steward the natural landscapes that make our community special. We truly appreciate your commitment to conservation. With gratitude, Team MMRG.
So that would go for
Yes, that was for the Jennison property up off of Level Lake. And they're now going to come to us about another one to see if they can get they asked if they could get a letter of support for another property up on Gage Hill. So I asked them if they could come down here at the next meeting and pitch that to everybody. And that would be the area that's directly across from Beach Hill, conservation area now.
Does that go into our budget, or is it going to special grant?
They're not even looking for money, just a letter of recommendation on it, letter of support. So,
Which property is that again?
it's gonna be across from the Gage Hill Conservation Area.
It's the, aren't they already,
Where?
that one is an easement anyway?
You do?
No, or they.
Oh, I'm not sure. I just heard about it today. Anything else for correspondence? I think that's it. Okay, so those guys at the association, we paid. They won't be finalizing though on the property until September. So they've got all their funding and everything, but they won't be closed until September,
What's that?
with the purchase.
Purchase? Oh, yeah.
Alright. Adopt a conservation area, oh, town forest and conservation land assessment. Anything? No?
Well, we visited the town forest last week.
We did. We took a nice long walk through there and,
It's pretty good.
yep, there wasn't much trash down there at all. We are gonna have to get that RFP going because all the undergrowth is just not coming in good. We're in trouble.
What's that, now, the Union Meadows on there?
No, the town forest.
Prairie Hill.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah, we walked that and picked up trash and everything over the weekend.
It was bountiful.
And, yeah, just noticed that a lot of the undergrowth isn't really coming in well. So before we destroy all that undergrowth, we probably get a harvest in. So we'll make sure that RFP is in
Yeah.
August.
Yep. That'd be good.
Yep. I pulled it back up and just reviewing it now. So adopt the conservation area program. We have a application here to adopt Gage Hill. As you know, was it Paul stepped down from adopting this property? It was just a cumbersome of it getting out there. So we have one here for Gage Hill. Intended frequency of the monitoring being proposed is 1 to 2 days per month, days per year 6 to 12. And this is from the Maker's Mill in Wolfboro. And it says, the intended plan monitoring duties, the Maker's Mill Sustainability Club will monitor the trail and trailhead to remove trash, brush, and debris. We will notify the WCC in the event that larger obstructions are present or any major damage has occurred. So, are you submitting this on behalf of Maker's Mill? So is it Maker's Mill or is it this, the Maker's Mill Sustainability?
It's Maker's Mill and the Sustainability Club is the one who's carrying out the duties.
Okay. Alright. When you speak on behalf of them, I take it?
Yes.
And so around for everybody looking.
Do you remember that?
How long do they intend to adopt the property? A year? 2 years?
Right now, in perpetuity, as long as the club exists.
How many members of the sustainability club are there?
We have 6 right
They're all sort of local folks.
now. From Wolfboro this way, we actually just got 2 new members that may be interested in joining it that actually live here in town as well.
Will you be maintaining the kiosk and the folders and that
If we have the materials, then yes, we can.
I'm not even sure who has them.
If we can get flyers, I mean, I'm sure we somewhere have a record of it as the conservation commission, so.
I think the spots up there are flyers. If you guys ever did trail maps or anything like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much established.
And you'll be the prime point of contact for us.
Yeah, that's my name and number on there, so.
I'm good with it. I move.
Alright. Any questions, Alan?
Not this point.
Okay.
You making a motion there, Rick?
Making a motion.
Alright, we have a motion
What's
to.
the motion?
Motion to allow, who are these guys? Baker's Mill to adopt the Gage Hill property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. Any opposed? Opposed. All right. Moving on. Permit applications. We have one permit application. I sent you guys a digital copy. That was just information that NHDES required. Asked for some more follow-up information on another permit, the one that we approved last week, that we had previously rejected. Now they want even more information on it, so. So we have a shoreline permit here, but only one application, no digital application, so. It's interesting. So it says here, we, shoreline permit application, and it came without a check, and all we received was one physical copy.
Who's that, the town?
This, yeah, it's from the clerk, so we created the sheet so that we know everything that came in with it. So, I guess we have, one or two things. The law states that they need to, submit a digital copy, and if it's gonna be like this, if it's gonna be one paper copy and one digital copy. That's what the minimal of the law is, for these, so we, can table this and request a digital copy so that everybody can review, or it's up to the board if you guys would like to review this now, but again,
So the state's requiring a digital copy?
yeah, so when the state changed the law, they require that you submit at least one digital copy and one paper copy now.
That is instead of.
That is instead of four paper copies. Yeah.
Which one was this one about?
This is for tax map 30, lot number 40, which will be up on Bellevue Lake.
Do we review it even though it came in without payment?
Well, we can reject this
Table, next meeting.
table till the next meeting, because the law, you know, it's tough, right, because they can just submit this online. And then when it comes to the town, they have to give the town a digital copy and a paper copy. They're just gonna give us one copy of the permit. So, by town's rules, it's not administratively complete, per se. I don't see anywhere on here for us to sign.
Is all this stuff that we receive and review in here, is this all in a town file somewhere for historical reasons, for historical purposes?
They end up in the file.
Going
Yes.
back and checking it
Yep.
purposes?
Let's see what it is here. The proposal is to add a home, well, and septic to the property. Currently, there's an existing driveway from North Desmond Road to the building site. The proposed home/deck and attached garage along with shed will impact 3,436 square feet. Driveway area equals up to 2,662 square feet. Total impervious impact within 250 feet of the reference line equals 6,000 square feet. Yeah, I would propose where this is a new home, well, and septic. We have existing conditions and proposed conditions. But before we jump into it, do we want to table this till the next meeting and tell them that we need a digital copy so we can review it? Either that, we can all get in and look at these right now and share them, take order along. I guess I'll make a motion to table this until the next meeting and reach back out to them and say we need a digital copy as well.
Wait a second.
Do we need to check on?
For open for discussion. Huh?
No, do we need to check on file as well?
The check is for the state. The state's not gonna look at this until they pay.
But I didn't know if they know there's a copy of the check.
No, we usually get the check if they submit it like that.
I mean, it should be fairly easy for them to provide us a digital copy if they submitted it digitally to the state, right?
Yeah, this is all digital anyways.
So,
they went on the VCheck website, created an account. That's where this all came from.
Well, then I sort of concur with your motion and just somebody should reach out to them and just request a digital copy so it can be reviewed at the next meeting.
Any more discussion?
What's the motion?
To table this until the next meeting and reach out for a digital copy.
I'll second it. That's what you need.
I made the motion, you second.
Second.
All in favor?
Third.
Aye.
Okay.
In regards to what you're talking about, Josh, it really helps me when I can read something and see it. Because sometimes I'm missing things with the darn hearing problem that I have. And I don't mean that quick. But I mean, in terms of when we're doing a big package like that, sometimes by the time it gets to be, you guys all ready to vote, and I'm still trying to figure out everything that needs to be understood.
But where they're gonna put a new house and new septic and everything, it probably makes sense for everybody to be able to look at this in detail ahead of time. Yeah, maybe have a little bit of time. But, again, the law, they're not gonna give us the 4 copies, they have to give us a digital and a paper.
Does the law require that the digital copy be enclosed in the mail as a separate file, or do they just email
It
it?
can be emailed.
Okay, and that goes to the town clerk?
The town can sell thumb drives with stuff on it, though. Like if somebody put a 91A request into us, we sell them a thumb drive, give it to them digitally.
What, I'll put it on a thumb drive?
Yeah.
They can do that.
So are you gonna email the applicant and
Yes.
just ask them to send it to the town clerk?
Yes.
Okay.
That answers your question.
You move forward the digital copy.
Do you have something on your site that says the new state regulation?
The NHD, well, it should be telling them when they do the application, what they're required to do, there's a checklist. And that is the law, and I've reached out to Craig Day and the NHDE office numerous times to ask him, because the old applications still, and they were still
Right.
given the ones that said they were required 4 paper copies, but the law had changed, so like the application never caught up to the law, and so people were submitting, the digital copy and the paper copy, but the application still said that they were giving the town 4 copies, and that's when I said to Barrett before, you can't accept these then, you're signing off for something, you haven't received the 4 copies, so that's when I reached out to them and said, well, how do we do this if, we're not gonna sign these then and say that we received them, so.
So perhaps it's unclear that they send it to us and the state,
Yeah,
the
so
digital copy, then maybe went out there.
yeah, so the state likes to change laws, but then it takes themselves like a year to catch up with themselves. It just creates headaches for us as a municipality. All right, review financials. All right. So it looks like we still have plenty of wages left. We still have $1,685 in the secretary line. For training, we still have $400. Maps, we have 50. Memberships, only 25 left. A big chunk of that was for the NHACC yearly due. Printing supplies, we still have $50 left. Office expenses, we still have $50 left. Educational resources, only $60 left. That's good. For doing some stuff. And then signs, we have $150 left. And if at the end of the meeting, if you guys could just quickly, if I could just get some signatures so that we can reimburse Mary for the canopy. I didn't have any signatures to put that in. So that's that. Anybody like to look? The campership program doesn't give me the balance of what's left, only what we've consumed so far. $7,305. We should still have close to $1,000 left in that fund. When does that repopulate? Is that on the fiscal year? This one's just, what's that? Well, with the budget will only repopulate as we consume money. Once the land use change tax goes through, then we see the Fund 3 start to grow, which we just took in $10,000 in the land use change tax. So that was just put into the account. So for land improvement purchases, we just took in $10,000 on the plus. which this year it might be just about all we're looking. I don't see any of this.
Does our new budget year start July 1?
My notes.
Is that the budget year? No, it's not.
No. No, we're in fiscal year, I think it's in October.
Okay. I was just sure before I asked.
That's why the tax bills the way they are.
Any donations? No, it was a $50 donation that we matched. I matched $50. I think I said that last meeting for Pride Day. So we took $100 into the campusship program. Alternate member applications, we have none. Discussion about RFP proposals for Union Meadows project. So, I don't know if everybody's had an opportunity to look at these proposals. We have these tabled right now. I was thinking though, that maybe we could try to submit a grant for the cost, because that was the original plan and that's what it said on the cover of the RFP. So what I was thinking is trying to submit a grant to Northern Borders before they dissolve, because they're gonna dissolve this year. And if you knock on the list and there's some money left over, we might be able to get some. This is economic development. This clearly will attract more people to the area if they're able to drive down there, put their kayaks in. And financials, maybe we can submit our budget, and we're gonna have to we'll have to look in and see if we have to disclose about the land use first that we have. But if we do, then we would emphasize that we cannot use that money unless it's the purchase land. We can't use it to enhance the road down there. So, I think that will be good for keeping these tabled while we do that, because that was the purpose why we got these anyways, was to submit it for a grant. So, that was the process that we notified everybody.
Did you ever converse with Brock about that road?
Not yet. We still haven't been able to get together.
Is it still roped off or?
I believe so. I saw a lot of people down there yesterday, so.
When are we doing public comment? Because this is what I'm here about.
Oh. Public comment comes up here
Comes up in old business.
at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. Just
Is that okay?
FYI, I was there at Union Meadows today, and it was not roped off.
Wasn't?
No, and it's a hot mess. It's awful.
Well, do you guys want to allow for public comment now, or wait till the end? All right, see now you're here, now, want to come up and tell us?
Can I stay here? Or do you need me up there?
Well, it's
to
just
hear
that,
me?
just so that they can hear you on the,
Oh, okay.
you don't have to come all the way up if you don't want, you can go to that shit, they probably hear you.
Swear. Awfully close.
So, we put you in the spotlight now, you know, it's a shine on you.
So my husband and I took the dog to Union Meadows. I don't know that I've been there since I was on board here, which was 2020 to 2021-ish. And if I recall back then, people were supposed to ask permission to drive down there. And you didn't know that?
No,
So watching your meetings, I thought, well, did they change the deed again? Because in the deed, it stated that, people were to get permission to drive down there if you had a disability of any kind, and to camp. So those were a couple of conditions that they would submit a request to the board for. Now, that was always strange how that was gonna work, because I don't believe that you've ever gotten requests to use that, correct?
No.
So, because you guys don't keep it locked up,
Mhm.
yeah, people are just gonna go down there.
Yeah.
I mean, hello, right, Gage Hill has it locked up. The nice thing about, where is it, Cynthia Siemens over in Milton. What they did over there for my husband and I was, they keep that gated all the time so that wheeled vehicles can't go down there and tear it up. But they have an area where there's just enough room, a little path, that he can get through, so he can still use it. Like, we can all walk to use it. And what kills me about Union Meadows is it's always you guys are in here like, oh, ADA. You do this big, huge, fancy, monstrous outhouse, calling it ADA, which, oh, Toledo, give me a break. But if you want to know about, you know, what people need in a wheelchair, I'm here. I mean, I can tell you, my husband can tell you. So, but yeah, just enough room for him to be able to get by. He could have, if that road wasn't all screwed up from whoever keeps going down there and doing it, that you guys are not stopping, he could get down there, and we could have had a nice day. But 4 years later, it still looks like it looks, and that person is running amok. And I'm not really understanding why you guys aren't stopping that. Like, why aren't you putting a gate up? Why aren't you trying to conserve this land, this path? Do you know that we passed the Wakefield Town Beach, which was packed, right? 'Cause today is 90-something degrees, and we thought, oh my goodness. Well, these other places that we usually go are gonna be packed. Let's try Union Meadows. 0 people there. 0. Think it has anything to do with the path?
Is that a question? So, the access way, in theory, is the town owned, right? You guys sat on that board, the conservation doesn't own that roadway.
What do you mean, the
The
conservation?
access way, we don't, I think they kept that out of conservation purpose.
You guys have this conservation park, which was done after I got off the board. There was a 5-acre little area that was suddenly made into a park. That was fun. You remember that?
You're asking for us to gate that off, ensure that it gets gated off, is what I'm hearing? And then,
Do people can't use it the way that it is.
no, I agree.
I mean, if you can walk and you don't mind walking through the muck, okay, but you're alienating anybody in a wheelchair, which you guys are supposed to be very pro wheelchair people.
So what does it have to be for a wheelchair to get down?
Just a regular walking path. Like I said, if you gate it, I mean, if you put a rope across, a chain across, and on either side of that, just enough space for a wheelchair, which would be from here to here, right? For a wheelchair to get through, not an ATV, a wheelchair to get through, because I wouldn't allow ATVs on that either unless they get permission from you guys, which was Dave Tinko had made it specific. He was the one that really pushed for that because he has a disability and he wanted to be able to hunt and use his ATV. Well, you can't have a million ATVs down there, right? But one for somebody like Dave Tinko, okay, with permission. But otherwise, it's a mess.
Is this adults or kids that are doing it?
We're down the Union Meadows. It's a nice little fishing spot.
Well, I'm not familiar, but I mean, the problem you get with, you know, with people going down the path, are you seeing who's doing it? Or am I missing something?
You can see with your own eyeballs
Yeah, no, but
that somebody's taking a pickup
you
truck
haven't,
down
you haven't
there.
actually witnessed anybody doing it, so we have an idea whether it's kids or adults or.
No idea. But you guys gotta put a stop to it. I
No,
mean, once and for all.
I just wanna clarify
It's
whether
been literally-
it's adults or kids or.
It's been 4 years. So,
We'll review the deed and go from there.
unless it changed, but,
I was always under the impression that it was left open so that people could drive down it. But now we'll review the deed to ensure that that's what it is. But if you look back at the meetings with that, that's what we were always told. So we'll review
oh, who
this.
told you that? Let me
Well, that's
guess.
just what I've heard the whole time.
Let me
And then-
guess.
And then when it came time to maintaining that spectacular bathroom, that's when I found out that it really wasn't conservation that's responsible for that road, that they had left that on purpose. And really, if we wanted to get technical about it, Parks and Rec should be the one that maintained it. But we said, no, we'll take care of it. And so, but we'll look into the deed to see what it exactly says about that, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Yes, that's, you know, if I can speak, I just,
Yeah.
because I never really remembered it as being really path, but I know Mr. Vaughn was here, he said it was always the intention of having trucks be able to go down there, drop the canoe, and come back up to the parking lot, you know. But again, in my opinion, if you start running trucks down there all the time, you know, we're gonna be maintaining
We
that.
took mufflers from down there, and trust me, Mary and I went down there and picked up mufflers and everything down there, and we're like, this is ridiculous. And that's when we said, if this is what's gonna happen, then we need to enhance the road so that that doesn't happen.
Well, I know, and that's what the RFP was all about, right? To
Yeah,
enhance the road.
there was to enhance the road, so now we're gonna, but we're still gonna try to enhance the road, either way, it has to be repaired, right?
Right.
It's in the shambles now.
What we thought, because my husband could get to a certain point, and then it was just,
Yeah.
it was,
Gone.
he'd be buried. So, if you guys, I have no idea what those bids were, because I don't think you guys read the amounts out loud. But welcome to 2025 for everything, $1,000 for everything. You know, somebody steps foot in your driveway, $1,000.
Yeah.
So, it's not surprising, I'm sure that they're awful high. However, if you wanted to get out of that cheaper, you could just put walkways there over those mucky spots for bridge walkways, you know, for people just to
Yep.
get across that, or wheel across that in a motorized wheelchair.
Well, we'll look back to see,
Well, the road, because it's not a path anymore, it's a
Well, I mean,
road.
for the wheelchair, how wide would the boardwalk need to be?
Yeah, like from my hand here to there. I mean, that's a standard,
like 3
you can get the
foot.
standard.
30 inches maybe.
Yeah, the standard, size of a wheelchair.
yeah, that'd be right down the center of the road.
30 inches, 30. So, yeah, because if you guys fix it, like Mr. Duffy said, if you guys fix it, you're gonna be fixing it again next year. I mean, you're just burning through your money, it makes
Yeah.
no sense. And it's terrible for the environment, so, yeah. I almost brought the deed down, but again, I thought, because I think some things changed, some things were rewritten, and, but yeah, that's the, what's back.
We'll pull the deed and
So I have a note here in my spreadsheet. It does say, the use of wheeled vehicles may be allowed with the approval of the executory interest holder. In this case, that's the town.
Thank you.
That's what it says.
Thank you. So it's been right there for you guys the whole time. So I'm asking you to, so I don't have to come down here, I'm asking you to, you
I would
know,
question,
act on it.
I would question whether that's individually or whether that's just a blanket. We have permitted wheeled access, 21 inches now.
Read it again.
Use of wheeled vehicles may be allowed with the approval of the executory interest holder. Parentheses, town. So the town's the interest holder.
So if somebody wants to,
That's all I have. I don't have the whole deed in front of me.
right,
So
then they need to get permission. So in other words,
maybe
whoever's.
somebody, or we just say that the road is open to users of the.
They need permission. I mean, that states that they need permission.
Somebody needs permission.
But at the same time, who would be the entity to restrict access?
The interest holder is the town.
So it would be the
Correct.
town. So
Correct. So if you guys don't want to tackle it, then the Board of Selectmen have to tackle it, but I would think that you guys would want to, since you guys are caretaking the area, correct?
So,
I would, and you have Mr. Duffy here.
so if we improve the road to the point where it can take wheeled vehicles,
Rick, you're gonna spend, I wanna know what these bids are now. I wanna know what those bids are. Because if you're gonna spend that every year of taxpayer money, to allow some,
That's not the intent.
1 or 2 ding-dongs to go down there and tear
no,
it
that's
out.
not the intent.
That's not-
That's not-
Actually, it should be in the minutes.
That sounds like what you're
No,
saying.
No, it's not.
They should be in the minutes.
But we had intended anyways at the last meeting to have a gate put up. Unfortunately, I've been sick, so I'll be honest, I might have dropped the ball on it. But I'll get with Brock tomorrow and make sure we get a gate up there until further notice, until we figure something out, so that nobody's down there tearing up. I mean, other board members have already identified that we needed a gate down there.
Yeah, I would agree with Natalie. It's terrible. What's out there now is
Yeah.
it's a mucky mess.
Yeah, so So tomorrow, I'm down at the resource center, on my way down there, I'll get with Brock and we'll get that.
Okay,
get
I
it.
appreciate the only thing that I ask is, again, you leave enough room on either side,
Yeah.
that he can just go around.
Yeah.
4
When you
feet,
fix it.
4
Yeah,
feet,
yeah.
4 feet's enough.
And we only use
Oh, plenty,
we
yeah.
only use ADA because I'm gonna say the whole handicapped accessible.
Right, right, because it's,
It's a long word.
yeah, it sounds pretty good. The other thing too is, you know, and I hate to come in here and just start, but, because ultimately, you guys are doing a pretty good job. Certainly, you guys are able to get a lot more done than where we were 4 years ago when I was on the board. So, good job. I mean that. You guys have done some really good things. That said, where have the minutes, why are the minutes not being posted online?
So we're caught up with the minutes up until the last 2 meetings. And why they're not posted online, I'm not sure, probably because of the way they're coming in. They might be in Tony's book, I'm not sure. I don't know how that whole process of them getting online is.
Yeah,
Okay,
Tony puts them online.
Yeah.
well, you are submitting them to Tony?
Yeah, we approved, because there was a 91A request that came in for minutes, so we had to get them
Okay.
up until 5/12.
Okay, because 8 months is a long time for missing minutes. And all I can say is that if it was another board in this town
Is that what you're
with
saying?
missing minutes, yeah,
Online?
if you go to the town website, 8 months,
I'll get it.
I think it was October.
October
We'd
28th.
have them.
I was,
Oh, wow.
when I was chair, for my walking, 2 months?
Mhm.
2 months, something like that. It was really, all you do is you send them to her separately, like you send them to her separately, and then she posts them. And you make sure that she posts them, because this is on you, right? Ultimately, it's on you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that we were that behind because we submitted them, so I figured from there they go and get posted.
Yeah, I'll check on that. It's-
Yeah.
You know, I know there was a lapse of getting them approved before, and I don't think she posts them until they're actually approved. She can send them, like, if someone requests them,
Yeah,
she can say, you know, yeah, these are the unapproved minutes.
and by law, minutes don't have to be approved. So I don't know, maybe something has changed there, I don't know, but I'll look into it.
Yeah, I'll give her a call.
I'm sure it's just, we'll get it fixed.
Okay, good.
We're trying, we haven't had a secretary for like a year or two, so it's
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah, it's not easy. I can't imagine being chair and taking minutes. That's a
No,
lot.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Um,
You got nothing, too many other things to worry
Like you
about.
said, it's my responsibility, right?
Good job.
He does.
You-
Yeah, except that they're not gonna post it.
If we can make the minutes 20 minutes, it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I'll do them forever, we never have to hire anybody.
This might be a record meeting, yeah.
The bids, okay, one last thing, and then I know you guys, thank you so much for letting me go over, because I don't come here very often, but the bids that you guys got for this work, and I really hope that you take a lot of thought as far as who submitted the bids, and you consider what they've done for work in the past, whether or not they kept their time frames, their quality of work, things like that, and whether or not you want to have a repeat of that, which I hope you do not, because, so,
If I may interject here, I'm relatively new to the town, 2 years, but I have been involved by going to work parties and being asked to sit as an alternate. And I think I know what you're talking about because I have seen some things and made comments and been called on the carpet for it, okay? Am I correct? Being called on the carpet, so to speak?
I'm not gonna engage in that
Yeah.
conversation because nobody's here and it's just,
And it's, in doing so, I went backwards and started researching things, found some things, confirmed what I found, and I think I know what you're getting at. And I've already had a negative reaction. If I'm on the same wavelength that you're on, I've already had a negative voicing, to the chairman about that situation, just from what I've been able to read.
I'll say as a representative, they have been doing a great job, and I trust whatever they do. They'll make the right decision.
I'm constantly calling him up and saying, I think I see somebody doing something wrong, and either he or I've been down to the assessor or the office beside where the investigator works, and left a message with the secretary, and she's looked it up on the file and couldn't find any record of it. And so she passed it back to Pete, is that his name? Yeah, I never met him, he's never been there when I've been, but I've just, I'm cognizant of this stuff, so, I have to deal with deafness, but my eyeballs still work.
I can tell you the board has gone through each RFP with fine comb to make sure that it met the requirements of the RFP as well.
Very fine too.
Yes. And we'll get the gate up there, we'll get something up there, rope or something that will be, cut their necks off with. And then we're gonna submit for grant money either way to, if we improve that road, it's gonna come from that. I'm not gonna deplete our Fund 3 to improve the road. We're gonna do that, it's the only money that we have to operate on, so, yeah, I wouldn't enter into anything that would deplete that, or use taxpayer money. I'm not really a big fan. I don't think the board's a big fan of using taxpayer money to do things, so.
Well, what's crazy is that this is the longest project on the face of the earth. I mean, this has been going on for years and years and years.
It's almost there.
And it's still going on, and it's like, it's still unusable. And that's a shame.
Well, before the rain, it was getting some pretty good use of it.
Yeah, yeah. I go down there, I don't drive that. Unless it's my bike I take down there, that's about it. That's all I can do.
I go through that intersection at least 3 times a week, okay? There's no problem for me because I have nothing else to do in my life right now. I can certainly take a shot and drive down there once a day and see if there's anybody down there. But, and if there is, I'll just get the license plate and turn it over to you, Josh, and you can turn it over to
If we get the
the
gate up
police
tomorrow.
department or whatever.
Yeah, we'll have
If we get
the,
the gate up tomorrow, it doesn't matter.
no, it's definitely a problem. When I brought the picnic table down there last year, it was a problem. I was like, I'm never coming down here again. So.
Yeah, and I think most of the town properties that you guys monitor and manage, a lot of them, like Gage Hill is gated, right?
Yep.
Gage Hill, it has to be,
That's prohibited
yeah, yeah. And
in the
Hutch-
deed, prohibited.
Hutchins Farm, she had to put the gate up because of the things that were happening over there that were unfortunate. So, it's not like it isn't,
Yeah, no, we'll do our due diligence on it too, so we'll look at the deed, but we'll get that up first and we'll
Yeah.
meet and see where we're at.
okay, all right, guys, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing it to attention of the
Sure,
board.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, so, does that help if you need anything?
Yeah,
All right?
yep.
All right, moving on. Facebook page.
All good.
All good. How many followers we have now? It's over 100, right?
Yeah.
The last time I looked, I thought it was like 100 and something. So the last one only had like 80. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure.
Are people commenting on it? I mean,
Oh,
is
yeah.
there any?
I don't know. There's new visitors there every day. There's people that comment on it every day.
And the post on the plastic collection was very positive
Nice.
over the past couple of days. Yeah.
I'd say this, there hasn't been any personal attacks on the thing. It's been about conservation, so it's awesome. If there is any, delete them.
And if anybody wants to send me pictures from Great Hill, I will put those up, but I think yours.
I don't know if we got, I don't even know if we, it's a problem is you get to somewhere and you just jump in and start doing the stuff, you
I
know?
should have said that.
That's how I am at least. I'm like a hard-ass kid.
They're not much, there's not really that much there.
We'll just take like
Why?
a town forest picture, you know? put it
I
on.
can take a picture of the bags of trash that I picked up there 2 weeks.
That was
ago.
on
You guys
there.
went there.
They should put it on there?
That's
I
what,
think I did if I did that.
that's why there was nothing there.
Well, honestly, I actually.
Grants, so we can do that one. And we haven't heard back from the Lions Club yet either. Mary's not here with us today. I don't know if she'll be at the next meeting or she'll be at the meeting after that. She's traveling now. But we we still are waiting back for that one as well, for the campership program. Volunteers and workshops, how are we looking? Good?
We don't really have any, but yeah.
No, I know. Campership updates, none at this time, just that we should have about $1,000 that carries over into the next budget. And then once we get those numbers, then we can reestablish a cap on that for next year as well. What else? We got to identify vulnerable wetlands, Alan, anything?
Well, I'll give you the ones that, I'm aware of, I
All
would
right.
give you 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them anyway. Passed along
So-
one way or the other to get to downstairs.
I took the bat houses off because the bat houses are done. I have about 9 or 11 at the house, so we just have to hang them now. So we have to come up with a plan to get these things hung now.
Just set up a volunteer day.
Yeah. When is the next volunteer day? Wasn't it June or something?
I don't believe we rescheduled the one we missed.
Me too, but we don't need to now, you're.
So we need to set a date for Union Meadows then, because that's probably where we want to put these. To mark the trails and put up bat houses.
I still got two gallons of timber oil for the inside of it.
I was out there 2 weeks ago and blazed the upper trail, put some more flagging up. We do need some permanent blazing up there.
Okay.
As long as we're happy with the route. we should,
I think we were.
It was a very good route. I've done
Yeah.
it many times now.
Have you really?
I like it.
Once we're satisfied with that, we can paint or get some.
So when's the day that people are available?
What month are we looking at?
It could be July,
July.
like end of July or August.
Let's make it a sunny day, would you?
That's not 98.
Somebody's gonna have to carry the ladder down.
Where are we putting it? On the
Well,
walkway?
On the
road?
walkway and down by
The
the
highway?
pond. Yeah, the highway. Make it visible. They're black anyways.
I'm good with any from the 19th on, so.
Other recommendations from the bat people, like
The height,
height and all that?
Yeah, there's usually.
I'll find out the.
Yeah, you can
I could actually bring
How about orientation of the sun and daylight and all that?
Yeah, I'll
Any-
find out.
And I have a ladder that works pretty good up here. It's
Yeah. Good. Bring it.
go up to 24 feet high.
We need bricks or whatever, going off the way, it says for a date, so,
What do you do?
he's a trail guy down there.
Oh, the trail guy?
I
Yeah.
don't think that'd be that 24 feet high.
Oh, I don't know.
We're not
Say
going
whether
up
or not it
24
goes that
feet.
high, But
Yeah.
it'll stay down at 8 feet too. if you want it at 8
Well, it's
feet.
supposed to be a natural insect repellent for those that are like using that kind of beach area, we'll call it, waterfront.
Well, you gotta remember where they roost isn't always where they fly.
No, I don't. They'd probably go walk way down, maybe a couple along the trails.
We taking the 19th then?
I don't know. We're waiting for Rick.
Well,
We're waiting for Rick.
Saturday, July 19, that looks like a good day. Is that what we're talking about?
8 a.m.
Works for me.
It'll probably rain again.
Are we doing 8?
We started this streak of 14
8?
days.
This is July 19th, some mid-vacation.
Then we'll open this up to the public?
Yeah.
Facebook?
I don't know.
Yeah. How many bat houses do we have?
9 to 11, I don't remember. It was over 8. Those kids, they went crazy. We have a full pallet of wood still, so we have other options. Oh, and the other thing is I planted the seedlings that were left over from Pride Day. So we can sell them for the campership fund or something like that because we purchased them for that, so.
If you could let me know what we have left. I actually have a tree planting project going, and we may purchase those.
What, for seedlings? I have none. I planted them all. And I went out and potted them all.
I know, so you could sell them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're saying
I'm
those?
saying I have a group
Oh.
that may buy them because
Oh,
we're doing a
okay.
tree planting
I thought you were
project.
talking about the seedlings.
No.
Do some tree planting.
Black walnut was one of them.
The black walnuts, actually, we probably good not to sell those because what happens with a black walnut is it kills the cherries.
Yeah.
So, I don't know
That's
people
why
are
if you
fortunate.
go on my property, the black walnuts are on the other side of the
Yeah.
property from my orchard.
I don't even want them at the nursery up there. I was like, I'll get these things out of here. I got weeping cherries and stuff. I don't have anything.
So what are we doing, 9 o'clock that day?
You know what's interesting?
Sure.
Is there's an interruption here, but there was an article on the internet about trees not to plant in New Hampshire and all the reasons why not. And everything we were giving away, they had a reason why we shouldn't plant it. I said, my word, you know, somebody doesn't want us planting trees.
Well, no,
Well, that'd be crazy because it's the state nursery that they come from.
Yeah, I realize that, you know. I say, what the heck, how can people pass
What?
this stuff and
Well, I don't know if they would say don't plant pollinators in wetland packages. That's literally
no,
what
they
we
would
did.
have been on the
oh,
things like
they
the
came up with
chestnut,
things
because
I
the
never even
blight
heard
and
of.
everything
Oh,
like
but we
that.
didn't even get it.
No, but I'm saying the ones that we were going with have been,
Don't want to plant birds,
whatever you
birds
want to
is
call it,
bad.
bred differently.
Birch is bad.
I think they look pretty neat.
Oh
when
my
you see a
God.
grove of them.
It's the most native tree to the area.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
we didn't have
don't
birches,
plant
we
them.
didn't have any up
They
game
have a
All
bad
right.
root, a root
All right,
system
sorry.
is bad.
Sorry.
Well, that I agree with.
What's that?
Birch trees, they look beautiful and they're very characteristic of the state, but they fall down.
Well, that's a
They're
swamp
only
birch.
good once they get this big around.
Well, that's a swamp birch. So the swamp birch that you have is swamp white birch, and that's what grows in clumps. So
Yeah.
those ones are gonna grow 3, 4, and then they have to just split and fall apart.
Well,
If you got a
wasn't that
single,
sometimes
if you got a
like
single
the high
leader.
wind storms, they all just go.
But there's a lot of different birch. Same with oak. There's so many species of oak. Probably I'd say almost like there's over 1,000 species of oak trees that are out there. So it's a lot of them. All right. So we got July 19th at 9 o'clock to meet at Union Meadows to hang bat houses.
And I'll have it on
And,
the Facebook page.
awesome. All right.
Do we have an available supply of rollers or paintbrushes or?
I have a whole bunch of those. Want to bring some?
You
really want to stain, huh?
Need something for that,
You got it.
timber oil.
We'll be staining too. Right next to the brook.
I thought you already had them painted.
Huh?
They're already painted, right?
No, because I believe that, I
No,
don't
we
know
did
what
the-
they did.
we did
I
the-
know Alan went down there
I've got
on that
2
day.
gallons of very expensive Thompson sealed timber oil, which penetrates and does a better job than just using a sealer.
For what,
The
the bath-
oil helps to keep the wood from flying
bath-
out.
The bat houses?
No, for
Is
the,
that
No,
good?
the bathroom.
the bathroom.
Oh,
The
okay.
bat.
Oh, jeez.
We can
So
see if we
wait
can
a
stick,
minute.
yeah,
We're gonna have one crew doing the trailer, one crew doing the bathroom, and one crew doing the bathhouses.
yeah,
I thought you were doing bat houses.
So,
Oh,
That
uh,
cleans it up.
that clears it up.
And I bought this stuff from the house I was living in Rochester, and I actually had 4 gallons. I used 2 of them up, and I got 2 left, and I offered them because I figured, save, they go about $40 a gallon, so
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
and we might have to take a door off of the bathroom, because people have been calling me, telling me that the left side has been locking. Like locking. They can't open it locking, and I was like, oh, that's a problem.
Purposefully?
No, that it sticks.
No, when they're in there, it's locking on them. And they
And
can't
they're,
get
they're
out.
like having
Oh
to
my
like,
God.
they're having, yeah, because the one on the left, you have to, it goes in, it doesn't go out at all, and, yeah, so they were like,
It's unfortunate.
This is Union Meadows?
yeah, yeah.
Well, we went into the bathrooms today. One of them didn't have a door at all. I mean, I know that that's the way it was in the beginning.
Oh, maybe somebody took it
The
off
handi-
already?
The handicap
The
one.
handicap one.
The handicap one has a door.
Oh, okay, the other
I
one
didn't
doesn't
go in there
anymore?
because God, I'm scared. But the other side was doorless, which it was in the beginning, right?
There was a door on both.
There was.
Yeah,
Last year
so
there
now if
was.
there's a door missing on the right one, then it's concerning. I guess we'll have to take a peek down there,
Yeah, unless I missed it, but it was wide open, so,
so the bears can get in and everything.
yeah.
Would it make sense to find a couple of good, strong Craftsman pins or whatever to put one on each side with, mark it up with a marker or spray paint a stencil on it that says, toilet paper? Because I went down there, one day I went down there and was just looking, and I hadn't been inside the outhouse to see, what the painting or staining had to be done, and no paper.
I think the toilet paper will walk away.
But on the other hand, what's the problem? You leave it there, it's either gonna walk away or it's gonna be hanging from the trees.
Yeah. Supposedly, people are going down there once a week to check the toilet paper.
But
Once
who-
we have a storage thing down there, which I think we're gonna take that left side bathroom, or the right side bathroom, because the left side's the handicap one. We're gonna lock it, and it's gonna be storage for something, because there's no need to have those two down there. I mean, I don't see an overabundance of people lined up. Trust me, I know.
Can we just build a cabinet with some of that donated wood?
We can, I
I
mean,
mean, we're only storing,
there's
what,
scraps.
toilet paper?
Yeah, we can do that. And put a little lock on there, and we'll see what happens.
Who was supposed to go there once a week to put, check the paper?
The Lions Club is doing
It
it.
needs to be donated toilet paper. That's the other aspect of it, is that no taxpayer money was supposed to go into maintaining that bathroom. That's per the agreement that was you guys had when the bathroom was built. So I had to look back at all the notes and everything, because I was like, hey, this, you know, when the whole thing was about, I said we have to make some changes, and that's when I saw the rest of this stuff was like, oh, as per this, it wasn't even supposed to be taxpayer money going into maintaining that. So when we pump that thing, you know, it's gonna have to be a cost to pump it, right? And if not, it's a cesspool. Why we didn't go compost, I don't know. You know, composting toilets have been around since 1995.
If we had to do it all over again, I think I'd call Reed for the sheds, cut a hole in the floor, put a 50 or drum in there like they got now, and make it a composting.
And that's, if we were gonna do anything, I think that's what we would do.
I think it would have been cheaper to just build a bridge across the circle.
And the other part of it as well is that we put this thing next to a creek. The bathroom is literally next to a creek, so, you know, I didn't know any of
It's
that,
just
but,
basically a holding tank though, right?
yeah, it's a holding tank, which will probably crack at some point.
So that, yeah, and that concrete pad is not looking good.
No.
It's holding water back.
To be honest with you, we're probably close to just kinda barricading the thing off, because it's like a trip hazard, it's not very, there's a lot of different things going on down there that we probably have to do something about.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame because, and I'm sorry for interjecting, I know it's not public comment, but, you know, like over at Warren Pond, those little bathrooms, one person is just ideal.
Yeah.
And that's what could have been.
And that's what it was supposed to be. If you look back at everything, it was supposed to be, that was the example was over there. So somehow it turned into a condo. But I agree, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, throughout time. That's it, anything else?
Sidewalks.
Oh,
monitoring.
sidewalks and monitoring, yep. Yeah.
Bob has volunteered to do Hutchins Farm. Needs to be done by January of next year. Sasha is doing lavender,
Probably do it in September only.
and I would just recommend that at least in your case, you let a couple of us know.
Yeah,
We'll go with you.
yeah.
At your leisure, let the landowner know, and he gave you a packet, each have a packet.
And just the digital version too, I guess.
You
Any
plan
questions?
you plan on doing some of those in the fall? I don't feel like watering.
Why? We did the lavender last year in the fall, it was
Why
good.
don't you come to Hutchins
You ever see
tomorrow?
black flies? That's why I shaved my beard off, because I went inside the house and I went like that, and 10 black flies flew out of me. All right, that's enough of that stuff.
Other than dealing with the hunting season, fall might be a desirable time because the leaves are off the trees and you can actually see something.
Yeah, because when is...
And the bugs are down, it's just a better time of year to do
When is
that.
it that muzzle opens up?
Archery opened up
I'm not really worried about archery.
in September, and then,
Yeah, it's September,
is
actually.
it the rifle that goes in after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got.
It's
black
well, you
ops.
got
Why don't we try to get
archery,
in?
muzzle loader, and
But I
then.
think, I wanna say it's in November. that the
That's
first
what I was
gun
thinking, so
season
we wanted, I was thinking somewhere late September.
Yeah, that would be
First-
fun.
yeah.
I just wanted to show you guys something that was down at Block Island a week ago, when we were walking down trails.
Oh, yeah.
It turned into a story.
No, it did.
Yes, it did.
It did
You
too.
see the trail with the little trees there that they had
Yeah,
there?
Was it about the area though? I like it.
Oh, it's a story about a group of boys that wanted to play soccer, and they were on an island, and they had no place to play
You
soccer.
read the book and everything.
Oh, yeah, I did. I read the whole. He couldn't help but read it, you know?
I guess it does attract kids, huh?
It sucked me right in. You know?
Well, I didn't think we were the only people doing it. And if it gets kids out there, that's
And
the whole
adults.
purpose of it,
Yeah, I
right?
know it was a short trail, you know, it was one of the ones, it connected to a larger trail, but the story.
As long as they clean it up by October, we leave no trace.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to show that to you. I guess it's a popular thing.
It is now.
Next meeting's the 14th.
Yes.
So
July 14th is our next meeting. And is there anything else? If not, we have a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn?
All right, second. Ellen, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
How do you-